I just got a notification from KSL, which is kind of like Facebook Marketplace, but it's for local areas like Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, and a few other areas around that. But anyways, I got a notification for a Scott kiln that is digital, and it's only $250, so I'm gonna see if I can go get it. My current kiln is 3.3 cubic feet, and this kiln is 7 cubic feet, so if I can get this kiln, it will be a massive upgrade. Now, it is in rough condition, but even after I repair the entire thing, I will be able to get this kiln for way cheaper than I've ever seen them sell for. They also go really quickly on Facebook Marketplace and KSL, so I am trying to get on this as quick as possible, and hopefully I can get it. The kiln is only about an hour and a half drive from where we're at, so it's not too bad, and luckily we have these pretty mountains to stare at. I'm so excited, but also so nervous. Well, we got the kiln! It started to rain on the drive home, and I absolutely loved it. So we have officially settled on a name for the kiln, the Great Gatsby, and that's because we got it in a Great Gatsby type of neighborhood. So we drove into the neighborhood, which was a gated community, and they had to have our name and information so that we could get in. And we get in, and it was just like the biggest houses that you have ever seen in your lifetime. Like Great Gatsby type of house, like massive. And we pull up to his house, and he came out on the balcony just like Great Gatsby, and it was crazy. And I saw the kiln in there, and I was so excited. There was a good chunk of time where I thought that this was possibly a scam of some sort, but luckily it wasn't, because now I have the Great Gatsby. This kiln does need a lot of work, but as I've said before, I am getting this kiln with repairs included and kiln furniture included cheaper than I've seen them go for in this exact condition. As you can see, we finally got the kiln home, and we just started cleaning it up as we were putting it together, as well as making note of everything that needs to be repaired and fixed. The first repair to be made is going to be the plug. The previous owner had it hardwired into their wall, and we will not be doing that, so we need to repair it and get a new plug. Then I would like to replace some of the bricks because they're badly damaged, and replace the floor or fix it up, and then get a new thermocouple and handles and latches for the sides of the kiln so it's easier to lift and move the kiln around section by section. It has now been 1 week since buying the kiln, and today we are going to put in a new plug. We started off by taking the entire control box off of the kiln, and now we are disassembling it so that we can get into the guts of it and get a new plug in there. And while I have this moment, I would like to say that we are not professional kiln fixer-uppers. This is not our day job. We are just fixing up my kiln to get it running. So everything we do and say, take with a grain of salt, and make sure you consult professionals if you're looking for advice on how to do this yourself. Our new plug had some extra long wires, so we took some wire cutters and trimmed them to our desired length, and then we marked off where the connectors would go on the wires so we knew exactly how much of that insulation to strip off. And then the next step was to obviously strip off that insulation and then put those connectors on. Now it looks like it was super easy and we got it done so quickly, but don't let this video fool you. It took forever to do, and it took so many trips to the hardware store to get new connectors because we kept messing them up. And yeah, it was a long day. In fact, we didn't even finish the job until the following day because we messed it up that bad so many different times. Which is exactly why I was telling you that we are not professionals, and if you're looking for advice on how to do this yourself, definitely consult with a professional, which is not me. It is not us. Also, when I'm saying we or us, I'm referring to my wonderful team, which is my boyfriend and his dad. They are actually the ones that repaired this for me. I just got to sit there and record them for this YouTube video. So make sure you leave a comment supporting them and telling them how good of a job they did. And at last, a day and a half later, we are finally done and putting it back together. As we were finishing up the job and putting everything back together, my boyfriend realized that he had some new connectors for the thermocouple wires, so he ended up putting those on and crimping them. And don't worry, this one was quick. That one did not take multiple different attempts and connectors. And then we just hooked everything back up, and voila, it was good to go for now. Like I said, there are a lot of repairs to be made, so this is the first time of many times that we will have to take apart and put this kiln back together. You know, maybe I should have named it Humpty Dumpty instead of The Great Gatsby. I'm kind of rethinking that now. And here's the comparison of my old kiln and my new kiln. And just like that, it's been 2 weeks since buying the kiln, and I headed down to Sunstone Pottery in Salt Lake City, Utah, and bought some brand new kiln furniture. We took that home, wiped it down, and then put some kiln wash on everything. Well, not everything, just the shelves. Now, this is very exciting because I have never actually had brand new kiln shelves. The only kiln furniture I have had came with my previous kiln, the one that you just saw, and they were also used, obviously, because it came with the kiln. And so it's really nice to have brand new furniture because I know that it's brand new. I know how many times it's been fired. I know that it's flat, all of that. So that is really, really wonderful. But man, is it expensive to buy brand new kiln furniture. But as I said before, with the cost of the kiln, repairs, and brand new kiln furniture, I'm still paying less for this kiln than I've seen them go for in the exact condition that I bought this one in. So that's pretty crazy. But anyways, it has now been 4 weeks since buying the kiln, and we have a bunch of stuff to replace. We've got handles and latches and peephole plugs and brand new screws because, as you can see, the old screws were very, very rusty and just not in good shape. So as you can see, we started by putting new screws in the control box, and then we moved on to putting in a new thermocouple because that is also something that we got in this package. And so yeah, everything should be working pretty well. We should be able to fire this kiln by the end of the day. But that isn't all of the repairs that we have to do. This is just the essential things that we need to do in order to get the kiln firing. Once we finished up with the thermocouple, we then moved on to the handles and latches. As you can see, they were very rusty, so we took them off, cleaned up the kiln band, and put the new ones on. This alone really gave the kiln a facelift. It was looking really old and ratty beforehand, and then we did this and we were like, wow, that looks brand new. And to prove that to you, let me give you a nice little before and after. I mean, come on, isn't that actually insane how much of a difference that makes? And now it's time to do the same, but with latches. This was more of an update than a repair, but it did get me really, really excited. And now that that's done, it is time to take the sections apart and start cleaning them up. As you can see, someone thought it was a good idea to glaze a peephole plug and then put it in the kiln and fire it. So there's a lot of glaze in these peepholes, and there's also a lot of glaze all over the walls and the floor and everything. So we are just taking some small dental picks and carefully removing the glaze. The reason why you want to do this is because if you leave that glaze on the fire bricks, the floors, anywhere in that kiln, and you continue to fire it, that glaze is going to continue to dig deeper and deeper into your fire brick and destroy it. After we finished this job a week later, we tried to use some kiln patch to repair the kiln floor, and it did not go well. I do not recommend doing that, and I did not include that in this video because it went terrible. But now it's been 9 weeks since buying the kiln, and what are we doing? What is going on here? Well, we got another notification for a kiln that is almost exactly the same as the one I have now, except it's a phase 3 kiln, which has to do with like wiring and the outlet and the plug and things like that. So it wouldn't work for us, but we decided it was a very good deal, and it had all of the parts that we wanted to repair this kiln, such as new bricks, a lid lifter, and a touchscreen, and a new box, and a bunch of things. So we were like, let's buy it. So that is exactly what we did. We bought it, and as you can see in the background, there are the bricks from that kiln, and we are just swapping them out. I will be referring to the kiln that I just told you about that we bought as the parts kiln. So the parts kiln came with a floor, 2 sections, a lid lifter, a control box with a touchscreen, and yeah, that was all it came with. So it literally had everything that we wanted to repair this kiln, so we were like, we have to get it. I have also always been dreaming to have the lid lifter and the digital touchscreen. So when I saw that, I was like, yes, we got to do it. Like, it has everything that we need. So anyways, we are just swapping out bricks. What we're doing is pulling out the element pins, kind of loosening up the elements, and then sliding in new bricks so that the really damaged bricks can be brand new. Oh, and here I am in the reflection of the kiln band. It's nice to see you. As I told you before, I just get to sit here and record for the YouTube video while my boyfriend and his dad repair the kiln. Now, don't let that fool you. I do help where I can, but I'm not very well versed at fixing things up, so I mostly just sit here and record and help lift things and move things when need be, or hand out tools. Anyways, we just repeated removing and replacing bricks section by section until it looked nice and pretty. And now all the repairs are done, so we're putting the kiln back together. We did have to get some new crimps for element wires and recrimp those. So yeah, that's exactly what we're doing here. If you are in need of 3-phase elements, I have a top section and a middle section for the 1027. I also have a single-phase 240-volt digital kiln controller for the KM1027. If you're in the market for either of those, reach out to me. The elements have never been fired, not even a single time, so they are brand spanking new, which is totally awesome. So yeah, if you're looking for the control box or the elements, reach out to me and I will hook you up. Anyways, let me give you a quick before and after of the kiln. Here is the before. This is how we bought it, exactly how it came with no repairs. And this is what it looks like now. Here is the outside beforehand, before all the repairs. And here is the after. He is so pretty. I love him so much. Look at this nice little digital touchscreen. It moves around. And this nice lid lifter really supports the lid. Easy to use. And look at that kiln. That is so beautiful in there. Like, it's brand spanking new. Now let's break down exactly how much this kiln cost me. The original kiln cost me $250. The plug cost $90. The connectors for the plug cost $19.28. Kiln furniture cost me $521.62. Handles, latches, screws, peephole plugs, thermocouple, and kiln patch cost me $184.17. The parts kiln cost me $650. The relay I had to get for the new controller cost me $18.69. Then we had to buy a few parts to get the lid lifter working, and that cost $106.92. We also bought some cement, which cost $20, even though we didn't really use it. And that makes our grand total $1,860.68. I have seen kilns in the exact same condition that I originally got this kiln in, going for no less than $2,000. It's always that or more. So I'm really, really grateful for this kiln that I got and all the great deals I got and how I was able to get all of the parts and everything I needed for cheaper than these kilns go for. It was so much fun to dig into this kiln and repair it. I had a blast, even though it took a really long time. I'm so happy about it, and I love my new kiln. If you want more kiln content, make sure you subscribe and be on the lookout, because I will be uploading a YouTube video all about switching over the control boxes and exactly how we did that. So make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.